皆様、本日は文化庁メディア
Everyone, thank you for participating in today's panel discussion organized by the Japan Media Arts Festival Overseas Promotion. The Japan Media Arts Festival Overseas will be participating in the Annecy Festival online and has launched a website to screen works and hold events under the theme of expanded animation. This panel is part of that effort, and we have a great group of panelists today. Let us introduce our great panelists. Mr. Marcel John, Artistic Director, Annecy International Animation Festival.
Hi,
Hello, Mr. Marcel. And Mr. Chris Robinson, Artistic Director, Ottawa International Animation Festival. Nice to meet you. And Mr. Daniel Schulze, Artistic Director.
Hello.
And today, we have a special guest. He is Mr. Koji Yamamura, who has been appointed as the director of the Media Arts Division of the Hiroshima Festival. He will join us later. Hello, thank you very much for having me. And to introduce myself, my name is Mitsuko Okamoto, and I am the director of the Japan Media Arts Festival Overseas Promotion. I will be your moderator today. Thank you. And today's theme is expanded animation, the changing face of animation festivals. Since last year's COVID-19 pandemic, many festivals have gone online, while new technologies and platforms have emerged with the development of digital technology, and the definition and expression of animation has been expanding. We would like to ask the directors of the world's 3 major international animation festivals how festivals should change in the future amidst such situation. Please take a look. Yes, this one. So I would like to take a look. On this material, I've compiled data on how each festival has changed since last year due to COVID-19 based on official releases. For comparison, I've been taking data pre-COVID 2019 and 2020 under the world with COVID. All 3 festivals were held online in 2020.
That's not true. Oh, really? Yeah, Zagreb was live, so...
Was that so? Understood. So, we would like to listen to you in details how you have run the operation.
When my turn is on, I will tell you. Just keep on.
Thank you. So it's not one-on-one comparison, but then just looking at the number of participants and number of applications. Just looking at the case of Annecy, the number of participants and entries increased in 2020 when it was held online. Ottawa was also online, but the number of participants has increased significantly, although maybe it could be a difference in the way it was counted. In Zagreb, it's no longer June, but it is going to be postponed to September to October.
Last year it was postponed. This year it will be now, soon, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
Understood. Thank you. And for comparing the judging fields, all festivals seem to be maintaining the same scale as in previous years. Among them, Annecy has a new field called YouTube Award from 2020. Going on to the next PowerPoint. And here both Ottawa and Zagreb are basically having the same scale for the judging, but Zagreb does not seem to have had a feature film category in 2020, so I would like to ask you about that later on. And now, from each of the festival directors, I would like to ask you, what kind of initiatives did you do in 2020 under COVID-19? And what are your plans for 2021? First of all, may we ask Mr. Marcel John to introduce Annecy, please?
First, I would like to just correct the information that we saw previously on the slide, because for Annecy, what you saw was the amount of badge holders. So it's not the attendees to the screening, but the number of people who bought an accreditation for the festival that you had on screen. So it's a little bit different to what you saw regarding the other festivals, because the attendee screening by screening was like more than 100,000. It's totally different than the figures that were on screen. So last year, Annecy was scheduled to be in June, and as you know, it was still, let's say, the beginning of the world pandemic at that moment, because it was in March that the confinement began in the western part of the world. So we've decided to go online for the first time of the festival, and our decision was made because we thought that the community of animation really wanted to have the occasion to hold a festival, to have a festival like Annecy. And for us, it was our responsibility to do something, to do a market, and to do a festival. It was our responsibility to the community of animation. It was a real success. The fact that there was more badge holders in 2020 than we had in 2019. It was not completely a surprise, because the fact we opened the festival to the people from all around the world, there was no all the screenings were available around the globe, so we had a greater potential than what we have usually. For us, it's clear that the real essence of a festival is people who having the possibility to meet at the same place. So it would certainly not be a solution for a long term to have a festival on a platform. However, we are dealing with the idea of pursuing the experience in having a kind of complement to the on-site experience on the web. So in 2021, our decision was to work on an hybrid version of the festival. So in a month from now, it will be Annecy 2021, and there will be a screening on site, and also some screenings, some films, and panels, discussions, work in progress, master classes will be available online. So it will be a completely different formula this year, and we will learn from this experience and decide what we will do in the future. But what is certain, it's that for us and for the community, Annecy is a town, it's a place, it's a rendezvous, and what we want is to have people with us on site. So it's our goal in long term. Yeah.
Thank you for correcting the numbers. Okay, next, I want to listen to the Mr. Chris Robinson about the Ottawa initiatives, please.
I mean, it's a similar sort of case to what Marcel said. We made the decision last year that it would be inevitable that we would have to be remote or hybrid at best. I was not enthusiastic about it, but I think we were a bit fortunate compared to Annecy last year or some other festivals that we had a few months to explore the different platforms that were out there and see what was available. And in the end, it surprised me how intimate and engaging it became in the end. And we were able to attract people that maybe normally couldn't come to Ottawa. So that was a nice bonus. Yeah, and again, this year, I embraced it in the end and thought, well, this is a one-time thing. Let's see what happens. But I was sorely wrong about that. And we announced last week that we'll be online again. Partially, the US border remains closed to Canada. And just with so much uncertainty, we can't wait until, July or August to make decisions about September. We have to act now. So, so we'll be doing it again online. Possibly there'll be some hybrid, some chance to do some in-person things by September. We'll see. But at the moment, if we can access some cinemas, but if we can only put 50 people in the cinema, there's really no point in that. It doesn't make sense financially or on other levels. I forgot the question. But I think I answered it.
大丈夫です。2021年
Perfect. Thank you. Because I asked about the plan, about the 2021 and what happened in 2020. So you're perfect. Thank you.
大丈夫です。
Thank you.
それではですね、
So
ザグレブの
I want to go to the Daniel
さんいかがでしょう
Shurich. Could you share your experiences and the plan in 2021?
Yeah, so as I said, we were on site live with real guests and real audience and real films and everything. It's hard to judge anybody or decisions because the festival size of Annecy couldn't risk to go live with the pandemic situation. Let's say we are smaller than that. And everybody in the city is the owner of the festival, and then we in organization and the festival council and me as artistic director, we were all convinced that we should do live. In Croatia, the situation was not that bad at that time. The cinema were closed just at the beginning of the pandemic, so they opened again. But with all these restrictions, so which Chris also said, this is a decision you make, because we had restrictions, for example, in a cinema which usually has 1,000 seats, we had to secure 4 square meters per person, which ended in 250, 225 seats in a big cinema, which looked very empty. So when all 200 people came, all possible 200 people came, it looked like nobody was there. But that was our idealistic approach, so we decided to do it. And the cost was also very interesting because 3% of overall budget was used to disinfection means stuff, which is a huge 3% of the budget just to disinfect cinemas and all this. Because of the less audience, we got 25% of usual income from the tickets. And there was 1/4 of foreign guests, or maybe 1/5, so we had around 67, 70 foreign guests. Usually we have something like 250, so that was also much lesser, but those who were there, they had a great time. And for the, let's say, for some people from Annecy, colleagues of Marcel, like Sebastian Spera and Yves Nogarat, they could come to Zagreb and see what it's all about. They couldn't come before because our two festivals are week after week, so they were busy with their festival. So they were happy to be here. And I don't know, some filmmakers came, let's say not as usual, but enough to have buzz. We have this exhibition. We did a smaller program. You were asking about feature films. Last year we canceled the feature film competition, and we canceled the VR competition because we thought it's very unpractical to disinfect the glasses, the spectrum. How do you call these glasses? This year we will have it again, and we have again the feature competition. Last year we canceled the big thematic program, which was love in animation, and we will have it this year. So these are some of the facts. I don't know what else. We were very happy that all financiers, public financiers, were supporting our idea. Were also the same line, had the same idea. Should the festival happen online or offline? And having the experience now 1 year of online festivals, I'm quite happy that we did it and that we are doing it again, because it's not the same to watch animated film. You know, it's a film which is a fine art, basically, for me, if you ask me. And if you watch it on a small computer, maybe if you even have a projector, it's not the same if you watch it on a really quality big cinema screen and sound system. For me, it's a comparison like if you watch a painting of Francis Bacon in a gallery live or in a catalog. No? So that's why we were also insisting on cinema screenings. But you can't judge anybody who went online because the pandemic is as it is. No? So you can't do nothing about it. What else do you want to know? So for this year we are going offline again. We will have around 110 guests. Everybody is like writing emails and want to come. But I also hear for Annecy that I'm also planning to go to Annecy. So I guess there will be again people in Annecy, live people. So that's also a very nice situation, because as Marcel said, I think Marcel, that a festival is a place where you have to meet in person and where the people are the important, where you meet friends, professionals, make collaborations. And this was interesting what Chris said, that the buzz of Ottawa was still very surprisingly interesting, and the feeling of community. I don't know, I guess, but still in person is in person, I guess. I don't know. Who am I to say that? I don't know if you two have some comments on all these thoughts. Not yet. Mañana. And last year, when we were preparing the festival, when all this happened in March with all this outbreak, the first reaction was to make a special program online, which we called Anima Fest Insights, where we did some interviews with masters of animation or some young emerging talents, linking to their films which are online, and having the 10-15 minutes interviews with them, and that was quite nice and quite successful. So that was then, in the end, that became kind of a warm-up and something which we will build in future on that. And yes, festival happened, postponed in September. That's these are the basics. I don't know. That's it. I can add some of the programs were all Okay, enough.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So whether it be Annecy or Ottawa or Zagreb, regarding the on-site live festival, Marcel has been saying that he noticed about the potentiality, and Mr. Chris has been saying that it was rather a bonus and happy bonus for going online. And regarding this year, whichever the festival, every festival director is saying about hybrid operation, which is also going to be involving the face-to-face operation as well. And this is a very enlightening issue. So here, I would like to introduce what the Japan side is doing, the Japan Media Arts Festival, organized by the Agency for Cultural Affairs of the Japanese government, and now we have the PowerPoint. And this is one of the largest international festivals in Japan and will be held for the 24th time this year. And there are four divisions. So starting at the bottom, the animation, manga, entertainment, and media art divisions. The award-winning works in each category are selected from among the works submitted in the previous year and are exhibited and screened in the following year. In 2020, on the very end of the right-hand side, you show the numbers, and in 2020 there were a total of 3,693 entries. Of these, 399 were in the animation division. The award-winning works will be exhibited in real life and online in 2020 in Odaiba, Tokyo, from the end of September. Thank you on that. And looking at our Japan Media Arts Festival, and now we are seeing that there's no border between the divisions, and it seems that there's a larger expansion for the animation world. For example, the grand prize in the entertainment category this year was an animation work called Ongaku, Our Sound, as you saw and see on the website currently. This was the grand prize for the entertainment division. And entertainment division is won usually by games and music videos, and there are lots of applications in those areas. But then now the animation sound, the ongaku, has won the grand prize. But regarding the background is described in expanded animation website. And the website holds a talk between Mr. Director Iwaizawa and Mr. Nobuaki Doi. The director of Ongaku, Our Side, came from a live-action film background, and the way of making the film was something that they had never been seen before in animation, such as actually building a set and shooting on location. We are seeing the emergence of works whose creators, production methods, and expressions are beyond the scope of conventional animation. And on the other hand, the digital market has also created a market for digital assets called NFT, non-fungible token, which is the trading of original digital artworks. So now I would like to ask each of the festival directors, how are each festival responding to new expressions and platforms in response to this expansion of this animation field? May I ask your opinions about this? First of all, Mr. Marcel John from Annecy, may I ask of you what you think about? In Annecy, starting 2019, you have set up a VR section. So it seems that you are very actively working on expressions using new technologies. So any views from your side, please?
Historically, Annecy was sensitive to the evolution of the animation world, and we tried to answer to the new mode of expression, to the new realities. So This is the reason why we've created a competitive section for VR in 2019. But I just want to remind you that 20 years ago, around 2000, 2001, there was a competition for a section called Animation for the Internet in Annecy. So at that time, it seemed relevant to have a special section for animation made to be screened on the internet. Few years after, it became unrelevant, that kind of thing, because television has changed, because a lot of short film end up in the internet, because the network was better and better, and the quality of streaming was better and better. So we have to be open to the evolution, but an evolution is not necessarily something that will stay stable. So there is now a competition for VR animation, but I really can't tell what it will be in 5 years from now, because I don't see a business model really efficient yet on the VR environment. So there is great artistic experimentation now, great product. We have enough good productions every year to do a great competition selection, but I would not guess on what will be the future for that kind of product.
Thank you very much on that. So it's not just about VR, but historically, we have always been following new media and new expression, and you have been doing so. We understand that very well. So next, Mr. Chris Robinson from Ottawa, may I ask for your opinion? So regarding ongaku, our sound, that was first evaluated at Ottawa as an animation work, and it was recognized internationally as an animation work. And so I am very impressed by your flexible attitude toward judging, even at that point. So what do you think about the evaluation of new expressions?
Marcel said, I mean, with our sound, to me, it's just a good story told in an interesting way. So I'm not really interested in all the technical stuff behind it. Ottawa, yeah, we've done VR. I mean, you can go back years past. We also had an internet category initially, and then realized, it was all getting closer together and there wasn't much point in that. One year we tried a machinima category, which was a bit of a disaster when the jury refused to award anything. I mean, even features, there was a time when features were not part of festival competitions because there wasn't really enough non-Disney works being shown. And, that's changed in the last 20 years. And I agree about VR. I mean, we added that a few years ago. There's enough interesting works right now. I'm not really convinced that's something that's going to be a permanent fixture at festivals, but you give it a try for a few years, please the people, and see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the festivals are constantly evolving and changing, and for the most part, open to these things. I mean, even commissioned work, you can go back into the early years of all our festivals, and it was mostly independent short films, experimental short films, not so much the commercial world, and that's changed drastically since the 80s, early 90s. I don't know what else to add to that. I think you keep your eyes and ears open, but you're always flexible to change. And I think at the core of all of our festivals are, we want to show good, independent, artistic animation. I mean, that's why these festivals all were born to begin with.
ありがとうございます。それではですね、ザグレブのですね。
Okay, let's go to the Daniel.
もうですね、ザグレブも2019年から VR 部門などを
So VR was started from 2019 in Zagreb. So what's the situation right now?
Yeah, these two gentlemen said everything, in fact, because we all follow the same pool of filmmakers or artists who are embracing new technologies more or less, or developing old technologies, and the differences are in choice, yes, from artist to artist, but when VR came, I think we all had in the same year we had established the VR competition. I'm not sure, but I think it was the same year. And before that we were showing VR as showcase when there were not enough VRs to make a competition. And same with video games, independent video games, not the commercial ones. We were presenting them over years. We will have some workshop this year for the regional video producers, like bringing a video game to the market, how to find the money, and there should be a panel and there should be a workshop. So we are all following and presenting and supporting all this. So there are not big differences between the three festivals, I would say. What we in Zagreb do have a little bit different is we have, that's not very commercial and not very industry, but we have this scientific academic symposium since a couple of years, where we present researchers with their text, with their theoretical text about on animation, and both. Yeah, we have this academic symposium because since I forgot the year, we have I think that's our we are unique. We have since 2002 we have a award for special contribution to animation studies, and both of these gentlemen got it already. Chris was getting it last year, and he should have come, and he didn't come because of that was the pandemic problem. So unfortunately, because it would be nice to host him in Zagreb again, but okay, next time. And to come back to the festival, I don't know, personally, as artistic director, I'm not so much into industry side of the animation, but more in a fine arts side. So we had a project which is stopped right now with the Museum of Contemporary Art, because they have a very nice 3 horizontal screens, big, huge screens on their facade. And we had a site-specific competition for a couple of years, and when the broken screens will be repaired, then we will have it again. But the broken screens are super expensive to repair. So right now we don't have it. But this kind of things, so fine arts, independence, everything they are doing as well. And exhibitions, we started with to exhibit people from the competition. We invite them to send originals, sketches, whatever puppets, whatever they want to send, and then we exhibit those since 3 years on a regular, since 2 years on a regular basis. This year it will be third time. Not as a one-time opportunity, but kind of should be regular.
Thank you very much. That's quite interesting. I mean,
I hope.
that was quite impressive.
I hope.
So animation and the technologies are actually closely related, but you always have the very objective way of seeing the technology and animation. Technology is changing, but the expression and animations actually are there always. And in terms of the real live feature movie, could you share the screen? Thank you. In terms of the real live film festival, as you know, Venice International Film Festival has established the VR division in the competition from 2016, which is quite early. And then they actually used the island called Lazzaretto Vecchio to have this, VR division. And then this festival evaluates both live action and animation. And then Cannes International Film Festival has the large VR exhibition at the market division, although it does not have the competition. So not just the animation, but the live film actually are actually merged, and they are trying to do the same things. And then the interesting thing is like they actually broadcast to the 15 satellite venues. And they both do the satellite programs and also the competition too. Thank you for sharing that.
The field of animation will continue to expand from here on. How is going to be the future of animation festivals in that light? And I would like to have a discussion with the panelists. And before the discussion starts, I would like to call upon our special guest, Mr. Koji Yamamura. Mr. Yamamura, please. In 1984, for 36 years, Hiroshima International Animation Festival is now coming to a finale, and starting 2022, as a new festival, it is going to be reborn. It was already announced. And Mr. Yamamura is going to be the media art director for the media art category in the Hiroshima Festival. He is going to be discussing us and sharing with us what is he intended to do for Hiroshima Festival, and also about his aspirations. Thank you, Mr. Yamamura, please. Thank you very much. And it is too early for me to introduce all about our festival because we're just starting to form the committee and to form ourselves. But we do have some structure overall and about the concept of how we are going to be working on. And therefore, I would like to share with you what we have in mind today. So in the past, we were all focusing on the animation festival as internationally. But for the new one, it is going to be called Hiroshima Festival, and it's going to be a fusion with animation and music, which is going to be happening simultaneously. And regarding animation, Hiroshima Animation Season is what we call, so we're going to be expanding the door beyond animation, and throughout the year we would like to mobilize animation and keep on holding events. So the competition that has been the former festival, regarding that, from the expertise from myself participating in various festivals, and I working as a jury in various festivals, the animation contents are now very much impacted by the European idea. So now, reborn and becoming new, Hiroshima Festival will become anew, and we now put in the core the Pan-Pacific competition. So we are going to be limiting the area, and we're going to be looking at the geography which is meaningful to Hiroshima, meaning that we're going to be focusing more on the Pan-Pacific area, not rather the European art animation. But of course, this is the competition by genre or category, and that is going to be an introduction, a gateway for the international animation. And when I say about different categories, this is about having a wide, broad array of society to be enjoying a very wide variety of animation works. And so the program is going to be created by category, and I think that could be starting as an introductory for the viewers, and especially animation has now having a deep expertise or deep depth thesis like feminism or LGBTQ. So by categories, we're going to be having a competition for these deep themes too. And regarding the competition, within a limited time or duration, we're going to be working, and at the same time, throughout the 2 years, we're going to be awarding awards to Japanese works too, other than the competition. And this one is mostly focusing on the people. So we would like to create an award for the working staffs, whether it could be camera person or technicians that contribute to the works, and we would like to shed light on their works too. And the other big pillar is about academy. The largest focal point is that I'm thinking about 6 months, and we're going to be holding arts in residence in Hiroshima or nearby Hiroshima city, and to invite artists or Japanese artists to work and stay in Hiroshima. And by their stays, we would like to hold on some classes that is combining the artist, animation artists, and the social citizens. And by the award, the staffs and experts, we would like to open some discussions or panels in order to strengthen our educational aspect as well throughout the festival. So Pan-Pacific competition and in Japanese award. By focusing the Japanese area, including the animation which is commercialized, it is also going to be viewable too, and I think that is going to be opening up more possibility that people will be enjoying it. Thank you very much, Mr. Yamamura. And I think there's a lot of questions or opinions from the directors. But for each of the festival directors, I have a question. So, how is the animation festival going to be changing in the future? Which way is it going to go? So I would like to follow maybe start with Mr. Marcel John, following the order.
Yeah, as I said previously, the real essence of a festival is people who have the possibility to meet, to discuss, having the opportunity to meet the filmmakers it's really in the possibility of discussing that festivals find their utility, I would say, because it's possible to watch films everywhere. We were confined during the last year, and from my home I watched maybe 300 features films, live action and animation, and hundreds and hundreds of short films. So it's easy to watch films, and it's not the purpose of the festival to go there and only watch films. It's watching films in a very specific context, in the context where the filmmaker is there, the producers are there. There is people from the community who are who have the possibility to sit at the same table and to discuss, to brainstorm, and this is the real essence of a festival. So in the future, maybe there will be new categories, maybe some categories will disappear. There is this question of video games, which is very important. Some festivals are dealing good with that. Some others have difficulties to deal with that. I'm thinking about a festival like Fantoche in Switzerland, who have they have a section for independent video games since more than 10 years, I think. So they were kind of pioneers in this field. My Paul, festival director, Gerben Schirmer in Utrecht, was a pioneer in having installations at his festival. So there is a lot of different fields we have the possibility to cover, we will cover, but I don't think it's the most important characteristic for festivals. Festivals will find their relevance are festivals who will succeed in creating an atmosphere for sharing ideas, informations, and just get together to discuss, I think. This is what makes the success of a festival like Zagreb or Ottawa and some other great festivals all around the world. And I think it's the same for Hiroshima. We will be happy to be there if there is the possibility to meet all the filmmakers from the Pacific zone and the Asian zone. And I would give, as an example, one of the better animation film festival I think in the world, the Animateca in Ljubljana. The director there, Igor Prasel, find a real characteristic for his festival. It's a festival devoted to Eastern European animation, and when you go there, you meet people you will not meet elsewhere. So there is a real sense with this festival, and I think every festival must find his own way.
Thank you very much for your comment. That was quite impressive. I'm very much impressed. Thank you very much. So let me go to Chris. So how do animation festivals change in the future? Chris, please.
Well, I think Marcel said everything quite well. For me, it's always been the reason I got into this world was people. And being with people and sharing ideas, sharing stupid drunken laughs, whatever. That's really what the essence of festivals are, at least what I think are the good ones, is to be around people and to have these shared experiences. Because I hear talk about, well, maybe the hybrid thing will become a big part of the future for festivals. Sure, there might be some aspects that you could look at keeping hybrid, but for me, hopefully we never go through this again and it's just strictly in person. I think one problem with doing hybrid stuff is you're potentially going to step on the toes of other events as well. And I don't think that's healthy for anybody. Yeah, I don't know. I've always felt from the beginning, you can take away all our all the panels and talks, and I don't know, just put everybody in a small cinema. I mean, Igor has done that quite well in Animataka. It's a small place, but it's intimate, it's interesting. Yeah, you know, and if it ever veered away from that, where people being together was less important, I don't know. Time to move on.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
ダニエルさんいかがでしょうか。
Daniel, how do you think about it?
Yeah, the same. We are all here, I think, on the same page. We all have the same opinion about what are the biggest strengths of a festival, and that's this meeting of people and exchange of ideas and drinks and all that. As Chris said, I guess some hybrid additional online programs, whatever, interviews, some behind the scenes info will. Yeah, I guess hybrid will become more prominent. So I guess we will all have more, side programs or behind the scenes or interviews or something like this, accompanying the festival. How much, I don't know yet. These are times where I'm not sure that anybody knows right now. So we will see what happens. I know only that I'm a filmmaker as well, and to me the best reward when you make a film is to go to a festival and meet people, to have the film screened and talking with the filmmakers now. Everybody's talking with them about meeting in Zagreb. Everybody's super happy, they're super enthusiastic about coming. So, and there is a sentence which you can hear sometimes when filmmakers are honest. They say, I make films to get the chance to go to a festival. That's also a motivation, why not? Yeah, probably we do it for the sake of art, but then as the second best thing is then to get selected and go to a festival, to meet friends. I don't know. Does this make any sense? Everybody's looking so serious. Yes, and the technique will change. Now we have VR. In 5 years we will have hologram animation. In 10 years we will have beam me up Scotty animation. In 15 years we will have, I don't know what, fourth dimension.
Maybe you'll have working internet in a few years too.
Yeah, for example. Maybe. That's just maybe. That's not so sure. So, did you hear anything? Or I was just opening my mouth and... You did? Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, opportunity to meet with other colleagues, right? But we noticed how that was quite important for us last year. And here's my problem development. That's something about the collaboration among festivals. Could you show up the PowerPoint a little bit? Thank you. When I say the collaboration, there are many ways to do so. I want to put up the 4 examples. 1, programming and management. Developing programs together and the pay cost together for inviting guests and the writing subtitles and the advertisement materials. The second one is about the marketing. It's about the advertising each other and use the same platforms to promote for more population. And the third one is about the innovation and the knowledge. That is something about sharing the know-how of technologies. The fourth one is about the talent development. That's something I very much focus on. Many cinema festivals hold workshops or pitching to develop talent. For example, Berlin International Film Festival works with other 7 festivals of Tokyo, Buenos Aires, Guadalajara, Beirut, and Sarajevo, Rio, and Durban to carry out the program. That's so-called Talent International. The program is for finding out young talent. Here's the website. So each film festival executes the talent development program and works together for its promotion and support in various ways. And Japan Media Arts Festival has carried out project to support emerging media arts creators. This is for winners, including the jury's pick. And that program supports those winners to move to the next step, or they can get the advice from experts. And then also Human Resources Development Survey and the research project for animation called Anime no Tane supports young animators through creating animation works at the studio. Likewise, I think if animation festivals work together, we can achieve bigger goals. So could you go back to the previous slide? Thank you. This is the example. Short film conference. That's something like over 100 groups from 40 countries join short film conference. They hold a conference every year. And as you know, there is the European Children's Film Association. That is a network for the kids' films. And then European Children's Film Association and the Dog Alliance. So there are so many ways to collaborate, and there are so many methods to collaborate together. So here's my question. What do you think about the collaboration among festivals? Any comments about that? Mr. Yamamura, what's your opinion? Yes. The Hiroshima Festival will discuss from now. But curation is something that I want to make some comments.
On the internet, in the internet, we can see beyond time and location, anything, any animation. But then the people who are on the platform of festival people are selecting some animation to show, and that itself is valuable, meaning that only one curator doing one curation is going to be very limited. Therefore, whether it be Ottawa or Annecy or Zagreb, you have had a compilement of various long experience and years, and that itself is valuable. And for the new artistic festival, that kind of expertise is going to be needed. And animation started in a very small community to start off with. And therefore, the formatic coordination, meaning that coordination between people to people, is already there. So naturally, I think that relation of human being, people to people, is going to be expanding. Thank you very much for your opinion, Mr. Yamamura. And anybody, you can make any free comments here. If you do have any, please share.
I think festival. I was just going to say the festivals have always had very close relationships, especially Zagreb and Annecy and Ottawa, because they've all been around for so long. I think there's always been a lot of cooperation. Even, Ottawa's had relations with the Holland Festival, Animateka as well, sharing information, contacts. Back in the days when there were film prints, we all coordinated shipping together from festivals to festivals. So I think the roots, the core, the roots have always been there. Festivals, at least in the animation world, have always been pretty cooperative.
Exactly, that's exactly what I wanted to say. So we are collaborators. Everybody wants to keep his own identity. We have you don't have that in Ottawa, I guess, and I guess Annecy is not. But in Europe, we have through media some pressure, political pressure by European community or commission to that the festival should collaborate. We are collaborating already, but they want to make some system and then make a financing depending on that and all this stuff. And right now is a big, how do you say that in English? Fuss going on about they are not listening really to festival needs, but they are doing laws and making rules how that should work, and the festivals are very unhappy. So we will see how that develops. But so you have the situation that festivals are already collaborating, but somebody they want to support the scene, like you have this Asian thing, Pacific thing, so European Union wants to support film and festivals, but on their own rules, not listening to festivals, how it would be the best thing to do it. So that's where we are right now. But apart from that, we are always exchanging all this with Chris said, and sometimes also program exchanges, and sometimes you mentioned the jury members. We had that with Vienna. So somebody would come to Vienna and then come to Zagreb because it was week to week, and then we would share the tickets. If it's an overseas ticket, then it would be much cheaper for both the festivals. These kind of things, yes, we are all doing this since years, since decades. I don't know. Marcel.
In Annecy, because we have we're lucky there is a lot of festivals directors who come to Annecy every year, so we also organize what we call meet the festival programmers. So there is a big room where there is, I don't know exactly, 15 to 20 festivals director who each have a table, and it's possible for the filmmakers or the distributors to meet the different festival programmers to ask their questions and discuss with them. So I think there is already a lot of collaborations with the other film festivals. Daniel and I, we organized together programming a few years ago. Daniel programmed a puppet animation film from Croatia for Annecy, and I sent a program of French puppet animation film to Zagreb. So we did that kind of thing many times with many festivals historically. So I think it's a world where there is more collaboration than real competition. This is how I feel this.
I'd just add too, there have also been newer festivals, the Shitos Festival that Nobuaki's put together, Glass Festival in the U.S. And I think there's been there's been good relationships there. You don't embrace every new festival that comes along, but once you recognize that, hey, yeah, they're into this, they're genuine. I think all of us are very open to these new festivals, and we learn maybe some new things, new approaches also from some of these newer events.
Exactly. Yeah. Bravo, Chris. No, but really, Nobuaki is doing great job. Jeanette and her friends in Glass are doing great job. So it's very natural to help them and to get to start collaborating with them and to invite them to our festivals, and because we recognize that they are genuine, how do you say, authentic. They are with all their hearts for animation. They are in many cases filmmakers as well, so we love that.
So as Mr. Daniel mentioned, for the novel festivals, the coordination is already there, like sharing information and coordination already there is going to be contributing and making the dynamism of the animation world. And lastly, well, since the time is now approaching to the closing time, I would like to make a summary. So going forward, the role of the Animation Festival, how is it going to be changing according to your views? Or is it going to be unchanged? Maybe have a brief word from everybody. And with that, I would like to close this panel. So anyone to start off, please? Do you think we should start from the order? Okay, so Mr. Marcel John, may I start from you? I would like to ask about the role of Animation Festival. Is it going to be changing from here on or not? And I would like you just a brief word from you, please, starting with Mr. Marcel.
As I said previously, many years ago, the role of Film Festival was to make it possible to watch films that were not available anywhere else. It's not really the case now. So the role has changed. And Annecy has a 60 years history. 60 years ago, when there was the first Annecy Film Festival, the point was for the filmmakers who did short films at that time to be together and to just realize that they weren't alone. Because all the filmmakers, or let's say most of the filmmakers, had the feeling that they were alone in their country. And then Annecy Film Festival was founded in 1960, the same year as MIFA was founded, and for the first time, animators had the sense of a community. And I would say it was the invention of the concept of animated film at that time, because before that there was cartoon and there was what we called avant-garde film, and from 1960 it became possible to talk about animation films and to talk about an animation community. And then Zagreb Film Festival arrived maybe 10 years later, 10 or 14 years later, I don't remember exactly. Ottawa was founded, Hiroshima was founded, and suddenly there was a network of film festival, and this community was very alive. But the community now is wider than it was ever. And one of our role in Annecy is to be there to help, I think, develop emerging filmmaker and emerging cinematography. This is the reason why we're doing a focus on African animation this year, because we really feel that it's the moment where there is some possibilities in Africa for a quick development, not of the industry, but of the talent. The industry is something else. There is already a strong industry in South Africa and in some places, but now it's possible for talents all over the continent to work, to show their work, and we want to be there and to help them to find their public and to be known all over the world. And I think my colleagues will share that idea, because they every year they try to discover and to walk along young filmmakers, and so this is probably the most this is probably the best part of our work, I would say, to find new people and to help them to achieve their goal.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. That was very good comment. So next, Chris, how do you think about it? How do roles of the animation festivals change in the future? How do you think about it?
I don't know. It's like when I was in high school and people say, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know. I'm just trying to get through each day. I don't like to think too far ahead. I think that's a bit foolish to get caught in that. We're here now, and you deal with the here and now. But I agree with everything Marcel said. I think, if anything, in the future, it's, with the predominance of internet and all of us being in these matrix worlds, that being together in person at festivals, being with other human beings and laughing and joking and crying and puking, it's all the more important now than maybe ever before.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
ザグレブの
Yes, Daniel. How do you think about it?
I agree with both of them absolutely, but let's see what happens, how the generations who were raised in a phone in the mouth, how they will react to our ideas, because their time span of their attention is like 10 seconds. So we will see, but we are also following we are living here and there. No, here and now. Yes, here and now, as Chris said. So future will come with us or without us, but yes, we will see what happens. I'm also like Chris, in the middle school, have no idea what will be in 5 years. The new generations will have definitely different way of looking at things. I think this internet thing is a huge change, like a steam machine or like a car. So it's really like a huge change. So I'm not sure in which direction. That's what I don't know, but we will see. And then also in 5 or 10 years, somebody else will do that job, so they will have to cope with this. But for now, I think we are doing a good job. I hope. I mean, those two gentlemen are doing a good job. So for now, it's okay.
Thank you very much. So we will have the festival, new one, Mr. Yamamura. How do you think about the role of the animation festival in the future? Yeah, thank you so much for the input from other directors. I mean, young generations will create the new animations, and then I think the festivals should be for such young talent. So that's very important awareness that we have to have always. And we really want to give the possibility to the young generations or talents always. And then I will start the new festival from now, from the scratch almost. So And I know that there are so many experiences or the histories of other festivals, and I really want to add new essence on that in Japan and including Asian nations. That's something I really want to explore. And then technology, I can't predict. I don't know. So from my perspective, I don't want to separate the technology or the other things. Rather than that, I really want to see the human beings and the story of the animation. That's something I really want to pursue with the new festival. Thank you very much. We enjoyed the discussion a lot, but the time is limited. We need to wrap up this session today. This was the great and precious opportunity that we had because we had the very famous directors here in this room all together. And that's very important to exchange opinions among the festival directors, and that's very productive and very beneficial for the future too. And I hope that we have the continuous opportunities like this to exchange opinions at the second time or third time. So let's work together to do our best to make the animation world great. So today, thank you so much for your attendance and attention. I want to meet you again soon. I hope that I can meet you face to face at the Will Festival. Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you.
Arigato.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.